How can you tell when you've met a talent, someone who's got that thing, that X factor or something in them where you're like, man, I really think this person can be a star? Because you work with some big names, and I'm wondering if it's a one thing that you see, does it come over time? I remember Dana White saying when he had dinner with Conor McGregor, he said, this kid's got something that's going to make him a star.
Right.
And I always thought, but isn't that about fighting? And it wasn't just about fighting. So, you've seen this.
Yes.
Is there something?
It is. First of all, a little backstory on me. I was a very talented stand-up comic. And then I met Steve Harvey. He was my opening act. Comedian Steve Harvey, the megastar Steve Harvey.
Was your opening act?
Was my opening act
Wow.
as a stand-up.
Okay.
And then Def Comedy Jam came out. And I had my own comedy club in Houston, Texas. And I went out and the Def Comedy Jam tour came through Houston. They asked me would I perform on it. And I hadn't seen Steve in about 6 years, actually on stage.
Okay.
And I went on stage, and as they say, I murdered the stage. I slayed it. I left that stage, it was on fire. And he was following me.
Okay.
And so I sat back, and prior to the show, he'd asked me about his set. He'd asked me, and I hadn't seen him in a long time, so there was a level of respect that he had for me going through. He said, I'm thinking about doing this. I've been down to Houston a long time. Would you think this would work? This would work. And so when they introduced him, before he even got to the stage, he got a standing ovation, which was like, okay, he hadn't even told a joke yet. So the audience knew something special about him if I didn't know anything special about him. Of course, he went on stage and he did material that I would ever have considered doing myself. And I realized that this guy is funnier than I would ever be.
Wow.
And so 6 months later, he asked me, when he got an opportunity to have a show on ABC, what I wanted to do. And I told him I wanted to be a writer. Because I'd already seen greatness. I already saw a stand-up comic that I could not achieve his level of comedic ability. No insult to me, but what I've learned in my life is understand where your pecking order. And so when I run into talents like Jamie Foxx, when I met Jamie Foxx on his TV show, I told him he was the next Sammy Davis Jr. type guy, because he could do those things. He could sing, he could dance. He was far funnier than Sammy Davis Jr., but I knew he had an ability, and guess what? He won an Oscar. Same thing when I met Monique. Monique, her natural ability, and all these people have a desire to be great. See, a lot of people want to be great, but these people have a desire to be great.
And you can feel it when you meet them.
When you talk to them, their conversation is different.
What do they talk about? The future?
They talk about the future. They talk about, and also they talk about, and they're very informed about telling you what you should be doing.
Okay.
Because they're trying to choose the people that come along with them.
Okay.
Because of the fact that it's a very competitive market out there. As you know yourself, you have friends you go to high school with and they go away. You have friends you go to college with, they go away. But eventually, when you're on that path to success, either you hire the people to protect you or the friends who are with you understand you and they can maintain that speed. And you can't ever have people around you that doubt your dreams. And so people who are special have those people around them. And they also have they're already putting it in place. That's the funny part about it. They know where they're gonna go.
So they're building their team, they're recruiting with their vision.
I'm telling you something, Kevin Hart, I used to see him run around, and I didn't even know him. It was this guy running around. He had like 2 or 3 people following him around, videotaping himself on stage all the time. And I said, who is that guy? It's Kevin Hart. He'd do his routine, hop off stage, go to the next club, do his routine. So he had a vision way back then. So I'm not shocked that he has more social media followers in the history of stand-up comedians. Nobody matches him because he was already putting those wheels in motion.
He was building the future.
He was building the future.
Those assets of himself. He knew they were going to be worth more.
Absolutely. And Stephen A. Smith, the same way, hard worker. I always tell people say, well, you did this for Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is a special talent. He works equally as hard as I work. Those are the people I gravitate to. People who either try to outwork me or match my work ethic. Those people, if you want longevity, there are famous people out there. For longevity, all these people in the entertainment industry who are corporate wizards, they are workaholics, but in a good way, because they're workaholics about their brands. And people tend to knock them because they use the word, well, they're selfish. They only think about themselves. Well, I think that's how it works. You have to believe in yourself in order to build a model for success. Now, what's wrong with that?